Hello and welcome to my review of The Cold Light of Day, starring Henry Cavill, Bruce Willis, and Sigourney Weaver. Now, I knew this film was going to be bad going in, so I didn't have much expectations until I did sort of get excited because I was just like, how bad can it be? I mean, it has Sigourney Weaver and Bruce Willis. I was proven wrong. I will get into the acting first because I feel this is a very funny segment, not because I'm going to make a lot of jokes, just the acting. Okay, so let me talk about Henry Cavill, Bruce Willis, Sigourney Weaver. I mean, they all look so uninterested, especially Bruce Willis. I mean, he's barely in this film, but he's fine, but they look just so uninterested. Like, they look like they don't care. It looks like someone was just waving their check behind the camera, you know. It's like, so Bruce Willis was just like, I'm gonna be a Looper, it's fine. And yes, that is my Bruce Willis impression. I know it is nothing close. And, you know, Sigourney Weaver, there were some scenes where she overacted, and it's hilarious. And I gotta mention something. You know, no, that's a writing thing. And Henry Cavill, again, he is just, again, that's a writing thing. But even he looked uninterested. Everyone looked uninterested. Let me get into the cinematography. It was a bit weak, and the directing. I put them both in the same category, but, you know, it doesn't matter. So let me start off with cinematography. There were a lot of weird zooms. I mean, there's a lot of weird zooms. And for some reason, the camera would be shaky, even though people were just walking. It was just odd. And the directing, I mean, you could tell this guy didn't care. You could tell. Like him, he didn't even... If Bruce Willis, you can tell him, hey, you gotta act better. Like, he could have told from how they were acting, but he didn't care. Again, I think he's just in it for quick money. But I understand why you're getting asked to direct a Henry Cavill, Bruce Willis, and Sigourney Weaver film, but he obviously didn't care. There's no passion behind this project. No passion at all. Let me get into the writing. This is where the film really suffers. I mean, let's just get into the story. I mean, it's like a 9-year-old wrote this. I mean, it's the most generic spy movie ever. It is so generic. I've seen it all a million times, to the point at the end where I thought something generic was going to happen, and it didn't, and I was just like, wow, you skipped out on being generic there. I'm very proud of you, film. This movie is horrible. But I don't hate it. Like, I don't want to rant hate it. But yeah, it's still horrible. I mean, just everything about it. Everything is horrible. I can predict everything in this film. I mean, you know, this weekend, it's just been awful for films. The ones I've seen, at least. I mean, really. And not to mention, there's this scene where Sigourney Weaver, it's kind of a spoiler, it's kind of not. So if you haven't seen the film, I'll get into it in the spoiler section. But yeah, there's this scene that Sigourney Weaver that I'll talk about later, but I gotta keep talking. Not to mention this film, everyone is a terrible shot. No one is a good shot in this film. Sigourney Weaver misses with an Uzi. An Uzi! How do you miss with an Uzi? I'm going to give this film a D-. The only reason I give it a D- is because it did keep my attention, which is something that most other films can't, and there were a few good action scenes, even though I knew no one would ever get hit. Oh, and let me get into the spoilers, because spoilers are going to happen, because if I want to get into this film fully, I have to talk about spoilers. If you haven't seen The Cold Light of Day, and if you really care, then stop watching the video now. Spoilers will be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that scene with Sigourney Weaver I was talking about, yeah, she's trying to shoot Henry Cavill, and what ends up happening is then she just starts shooting random people. It was Grand Theft Sigourney Weaver. And all I could think was, I bet this is what she was thinking. You know, I know I'm supposed to be shooting Superman over there, but I want to shoot some civilians. Really, and there's another scene where the guy, he jumps off a building that they actually edited for the trailer, but he has a rope around his waist, and they added it in the trailer so the rope wouldn't be there, which first of all is stupid. I mean, it still adds suspense. What if he doesn't make it? Which, if you've seen the movie, you know he doesn't, and what ends up happening is that he falls, like he gets injured, like he would. If he is not dead, then his bones would be shattered. I mean, this movie has no sense of realism. I'm going to give this film a D-. Please like, favorite, and subscribe for more.